Hi everyone, it's Sarah and welcome to another social skills video. Today we're going to talk about how to make friends and how to meet people. And I know this might seem like one of those vintage educational how-to guides, like how to make friends, a very simple topic. But as an adult, this is something that is really difficult to do. Like, how do you know how to do this? And this is a question that a lot of my clients have asked me. It's one of the first things they want to know is, I want to make more friends and I need help with doing that. So I hope that this video will help someone out there who is thinking about the same thing, or maybe help give you some ideas so that you can develop your own technique for making friends. But this is just something I put together that has helped me, that I've done, and has helped the people that I've worked with. So the first step is the getting to know you stage of a friendship. How do you go about that step? How do you go about finding someone that you think is going to be someone that you can develop a friendship with? Well, the first thing I'd say to keep in mind is consider the environment in which you're at. So are you in an appropriate environment in which it would make sense for you to chat someone up and to swap contact info and to get together in the future? Or is it a place like maybe you're at the beach or you're at the gym and you had a nice interaction with someone, but it's necessarily not meant to go beyond that? It's just people being polite and conversing, but it's not really two people who are open to the possibility of being friends. So try and just make sure that you're not setting yourself up to come off as like, oh, there's the creepy guy at the gym who goes around and chats to people because he wants to make friends. You don't want someone having the wrong impression of you for something that is as simple as, no, I'm just trying to make more friends. I'm trying to meet people like. So just try and make sure you are in an environment in which that makes sense to do so. I'm not saying that you cannot make friends at these other places. You absolutely can. But there are always exceptions to the rule, but you will overall have better success if you are making sure you are in an environment in which the mood or the theme or the purpose is gathering together and talking to other people. So let's say, for example, you went on meetup.com this weekend and you found a hiking trip coming up. And there on this coming Saturday, there's a group of 9 people getting together. Like, you can go out there and you can mingle and see, you might meet someone there who's awesome and she might have the same interests as you and might kind of be in the same position as you. And what do you do next? You met someone, you're chatting with them. I would say propose future interaction. And this is a really good trick that you can use, or a tip, not a trick, but this is something that you can do to sort of see whether or not the other person has the same sort of interests and intentions as you. So you say something like, well, it was really nice meeting to you. It's been fun hanging out today, and I'm trying to be more social. I'm trying to make more friends. So if you'd ever like to do anything in the future, definitely let me know because I'd love to join. And there you go. And see what they say. So following this, maybe you'd have a response. Someone says, yeah, no, let's totally hang out. I'd love that. And then you might have someone that says, oh, good luck. I hope that you get to meet a lot of people. Keep going to events around town and you'll eventually, yeah, I totally think you can find a good friend group. One of these responses sounds like I'm not interested, but thank you. And that is something you can learn this if you propose future interaction. So just bring up the possibility of talking in the future and see what their reaction is. If it is a positive reaction, if they reciprocate this, then you can move on to offering your contact information. And I would always offer your contact information first, because sometimes the other person is not going to want to give their number out or give their contact info out. They might be the sort of person who's shy and not as confident in rejecting somebody. So to be nice, they'll accept your number with no intention of calling you back. And that's totally fine. Don't be discouraged if you go somewhere, you meet someone, you offer to hang out, and you give them your number and they never get in touch with you. There's a lot of situations, there's a lot of reasons that aren't known to us, that we're just never going to know about the people that we meet, that might have nothing to do with you. They just might not be in the sort of position where they want to meet new friends or anything like that. So don't take it too personally. Don't let it get you dejected. Don't let it make you stop trying. the expression, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, is so true here. You're not going to lose anything by having this experience. You might think, well, yeah, that stunk. I thought we got along, but it's totally fine. I'm just gonna get out there and try again. Try and just have a positive attitude about it if things don't go your way and you don't hear from the person. But in order to avoid coming off as creepy, just make sure that you're the one offering your contact information, and don't sit there and wait, okay, well, what's your number? Because that's putting people on the spot and they might not necessarily want to do that. Trust me, if someone likes you, if there was a good connection there, they will reach out to you if they have the means to do so. But let's say that you did. Let's say you did get their info, you swapped information, and you have their number, you have their online information, whatever. Send them a little follow-up message after the event. It doesn't have to be, right the second you get home, but maybe like before you go to bed that night, or before you have dinner, after you have dinner, just, hey, I just wanted to let you know it was really awesome meeting you today, and I'm looking forward to hanging out in the future, and I hope you have a good week. Just something short, simple. It shows I was thinking about you. I'm excited about the possibility of a friendship, but I'm not going to impose anything further on you. I'm not going to be one of those clingy, needy people. So just try and keep it short and simple and sweet, and it'll let the other person know that, yeah, they were thinking about me. That's nice. And when you do propose to hang out in the future, make sure that you are suggesting tangible activities for people. And this is important because I think you're going to have more success versus just saying, hey, let's do something in a couple weeks. And then they say, sure, what do you have in mind? And you don't actually have anything in mind. It helps to be able to have some ideas to propose to the other person, because I think they're going to be more willing to say yes if they know where you're coming from. So if I reached out to a friend and I said, hey, let's get together and let's play a game or watch a movie this weekend. That's a great example, because I'm giving them a couple of options, letting them choose, and I'm giving them a day this weekend. If you wanted to schedule brunch with somebody, it might be nice for you to look up a nice restaurant or a nice place or a nice cool indie little place you haven't been to before and propose them. Hey, would you be interested in grabbing brunch on Saturday or Sunday? Let me know. And then let them go from there. Sorry, dogs. Let's wait for the dogs to stop barking. But suggesting real choices, suggesting real options is a much better way to get a result than just keeping it open-ended. You don't want to get too incredibly specific. You don't want to say, what are you doing 3:00 New Year's Eve? You could say that. I mean, that might work. It worked for Cary Grant. But try and give them some leniency. So don't pigeonhole it too much to the point where it's like, okay, I can only get together with you at 5 p.m. on Friday, otherwise nothing. So just try and be flexible when you're scheduling things as well. So now on the topic of, okay, I have someone, I met them, where do I go from here? How do I improve this friendship? These are also steps that you can use for friendships that you currently have or acquaintances. Maybe you have people sitting on the bench that you haven't really considered, you know what? I think I'm going to invest some time in this person. I think there is friendship potential here. You can use these for any sort of situation that you are, whatever stage you are in the friendship track, getting to know someone or someone that you already know. But this goes for anybody, and I can't stress this enough. This is going to be the repeated theme of my videos, but be genuine when you are reaching out. We do not want to use people for our own intentions and purposes and motives. We want to actually engage them and mean what we say. If I say, hey, how was work last week? Did anything fun happen? I actually want to know how work was. I want to hear what happened at work. This is something that I am expecting to hear from you. I'm just not going to blow to the side. Sorry, my phone is vibrating. I'm going to put that somewhere else. You're not just asking something just so that you can ask it because you feel compelled to ask it. You actually want to know. So just make sure that whatever it is you are reaching out, whatever it is that you're saying, that you're genuine about it. You actually intend to hear from them, and you're not just sitting there waiting on the bus and passing the time and using somebody as a way to entertain yourself. The next thing is sharing the responsibility of contact. This is an important one because friendships go both way. It is a relationship. It is something that you have to work on. And when you have this dynamic where you have one person who is like always planning, they're always reaching out to you, and you're kind of content on letting them do that, and you are easygoing and, if I'll just go along with it. It's sending this message that it's not really equal. They're like 90% effort and you're like 10% effort, and that 10% is only you responding to them. So try and get out of your comfort zone a little more often. Try and reach out to them more because it's going to be more meaningful to them. And people do pick up on signals too. So if you do have someone where they're always doing all of the work and they never hear from you if you don't talk to them first, they might get this sort of insecurity that you're just not as invested in the friendship, or, you know what, if it weren't for me, I don't even think we would be friends. So don't let someone get to that point, because it's a really lousy feeling to kind of have that sort of insecurity when you're just not sure, because you just never hear from the other person. They're just always there, but they're never engaging you. So try and share the responsibility of contact. Get out of your comfort zone a little bit. Send messages every now and then, and kind of get used to tossing the ball instead of just always catching it. Following through with plans is a very important thing because you do not want to be known as the flaky friend. This is a reputation that's very hard to shake. If you tell someone, let's watch a movie tonight, actually intend to have it in your schedule to accommodate watching a movie with them. You don't want to say something and then just not follow through with it just because you think, oh, well, I feel like I have to make plans. I feel like I have to suggest something, but I really don't have any intention of doing that. If you contact a girlfriend, you say, hey, let's grab brunch this Saturday. Make sure that you actually intend to grab brunch with her. Just don't leave her waiting for 2 weeks and her thinking, okay, well, I guess it really wasn't that important. I guess she just forgot about me. So make sure you follow through with your plans. If you forget, that's okay. Just apologize for it. I'm so sorry this slipped from my mind. I totally didn't mean to. I just wasn't really thinking about it. I want to make it up to you. I'm definitely going to get on the books this time, though. So let's try this again. And there you go. Just admit when you've done something wrong, apologize for it, and try and be better. But following through with plans is something you want to get into this habit because you don't want to be known as, oh, yeah, no, they don't mean anything they say. They're just saying it. And within the same sort of vein, responding to people promptly. Now, social media has gotten us really trained to not responding to people at all, or to be so satisfied with how quick and instant getting a message is that the responding to a part is now seen as like work. Oh, it's going to take me like 30 seconds in order to respond to her text. I'll just do it when I'm busy. Meanwhile, let me get back to binge watching the Great British Baking Show for all week. And then I'll just tell her next week I was busy. No, you weren't busy. You just didn't want to carve out the time. You didn't want to devote the 1 or 2 minutes to responding to her text that it would take. And then you want to use the excuse that you were too busy to do it. Meanwhile, you live on your phone, you live on social media, you live online, and you can't take that sort of time. It's not polite. I'm guilty of this too, and I've tried to get better. This is something that I've worked on, is trying to make sure that I respond to people when I have a moment to do so within an appropriate amount of time. You don't necessarily want to keep someone waiting for days and think, she's fine, I'll get back to it. No, she might be nice enough to not say anything, but that sort of behavior is really rude, and I think everyone out there can sympathize with having an experience like that. Like, yeah, I don't know. I don't hear from her. I'll send her a message and 2 weeks later she'll get back to me. So try and get into the habit, build this habit. It's a good habit. Be prompt when you're responding to people and don't let them waiting, because it's just not polite to do that. Being able to compromise with your friends is a really important thing for building a friendship, because some people are so stubborn in that they don't want to deviate from things that they like, or they only want to do things that they like and they just don't consider what their friends want to do, or they're not willing to give something a try, or they don't think it's important enough. it is important to other people for their friends to sort of meet them in the middle and to try and experience new things and to do things that they want just because their friend wants to do it. You don't necessarily want to do it, but you're doing it for the other person. You're doing it to help the friendship. You're not doing it because you think, oh, well, I'm going to gain something out of this. No, you're doing it because it's nice to do for your friends. So be able to compromise with people. You might not always want to go along 100% with, oh, my friend wants to go to the beach this weekend, but I'm feeling lazy and I kind of just want to be at home. It's totally fine to have you time and to have that sort of thing, but don't let it become a habit. Don't let yourself constantly be talked out of things because you just don't feel like doing it in that moment, especially if your friend is asking you to do something. So just get used to the idea that, yeah, you're just going to have to meet someone in the middle. Sometimes you're going to have to do things that you don't really want to do, but you're doing it because the other person wants to do it, and it's a nice thing for them. And this involves spending time with people. Now, this seems super obvious, spending time with someone, but this is very important for a friendship because I do not think you can have a good, sustainable friendship on occasionally, seldomly interacting every other week. Now, there are exceptions. You will have childhood friends or people that you've known forever, and maybe you will hear from them once every 4 months, and it's like, oh, no time has passed or rest. I feel like childhood friends and people from your past have a sort of reverence that that comes with time, years of having known someone. But when you have new friends, when you've met people as an adult and things like that, I think it has a different dynamic, and you really do have to make sure you're investing time with them. And it's important to have like that special one-on-one time, getting to know someone. And it just shows that, hey, you are important enough to me that I am setting aside time for my day to be with you and to spend with you. So make sure that you are doing the same for somebody else, and you're carving out that time to interact with someone and to hang out with them and just spend talking to them even. It can be as simple as just chatting online meaningfully. And another really obvious thing is being nice. And I have to put this on here because there are people who it's not their first reaction to be nice because they have this persona that is so jagged and is so combative that they want to criticize first, that they feel compelled to put someone down instead of saying something nice or saying something encouraging. It's like, well, my first reaction was to criticize it. That should not be your first reaction with your friends. It really shouldn't. If that is, you really ought to work on that because it's just an unhealthy way to interact with people that are important to you. I'm not advocating being dishonest. I'm not saying lie to your friends. I'm not saying if your friend makes something and it's absolutely terrible, you don't have to tell them, oh my gosh, move over Andy Warhol. This is amazing. You don't have to make it insincere, but you don't have to be a jerk about it either. So let's say you did have a friend and he was working on a project and it's finally complete and he shows you and he says, hey, I finally finished this and it's terrible. What you could say is just, I'm so proud of you for getting this done. I know that you put a lot of time into this and I'm super proud of your accomplishment. And there you go. That's this nice positive feedback that is going to mean so much more to them versus you saying, you spent how much time on this? Really? That would break someone's heart. That is a terrible way to treat your friends. So just make sure that you're being nice and you're being polite because at the end of the day, think, are you really gaining anything by being mean to your friends? Are you really gaining anything by thinking, oh, they need my critical expertise? Is that like checking a box for you? Is that doing something for you beneficial? Probably not. It's probably going to only hurt the other person's feelings. So just try and rework the way that you interact. Try and be a little bit less abrasive and be nice because these are people that you want in your life and you want to treat them well. And you want them to do the same for you too. And last, quality over quantity. This is something that I live by because I am a big proponent of quality over quantity. I would rather have 5 best friends that I can count on one hand versus a Rolodex of 70 people I barely talk to, but make me feel popular because I know so many people, because I have so many contacts in my phone. is that going to, are those 70 contacts going to be there when you maybe need a shoulder to vent to, a shoulder to cry on, or vent to? Are those connections going to be meaningful beyond just, oh yeah, well, I know them. I don't really know if I would ever have a conversation with any of them. No, you don't want to have that sort of, you don't want to have that sort of relationship with people that it's so superficial, it's so surface level that you wouldn't ever dare dream of talking to them anything deeper or more personal. So make sure that you're just investing time in quality people and trying to do the best, put more energy into a few people that are really good friends or that have the potential to become really good friends, versus I've got to get out every weekend, I've got to meet people, I've got to go and make as many connections, and no, you don't need that. I think people who do that need a lot of work on themselves. So try not to be discouraged if you think, I only have like 4 friends. That's all you need. If they're great friends, that is all you need. Really, I sincerely believe this. So rework the way that you're thinking. Don't be discouraged if you think, I just really don't have a lot of friends. Do you have a couple of good friends that you can invest even more time into? That's great. Then start from there and then sort of branch out. But don't feel discouraged if you aren't Mr. Popular and you don't have a ton of people that you know, because it's really not an ideal way to go about your friendships with other people. And that's that. Okay, so next week's video is how to communicate better in text. And I'm excited about this one because it's going to be fun, and I'm probably going to step on some toes, but I think it's important because of how text-based we are today. Make sure you subscribe because I do videos every week. And if you want to schedule a one-on-one session, I do offer private classes as well. So check the video description for a link to that. And if there are any topics that you want me to cover or any questions that you have, please let me know because I'm actively working on my lessons, and you might see one of your topics pop up. So thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you have a good week, and I'll see you next week. Bye.